Picture this. The year is 600 BC. Babylon is the largest city on Earth. Maybe 200,000 people packed inside massive walls that stretch for miles. King Nebuchadnezzar II rules an empire from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea. The Ishtar Gate gleams with glazed blue bricks. The Ziggurat of Marduk towers over the city, and somewhere, maybe, the Hanging Gardens cascade with green terraces. But what was it actually like to spend a single day here? Not as a king or a priest, but as an ordinary person navigating the greatest city in Mesopotamia. Using AI trained on archaeological evidence and historical records, we've reconstructed what 24 hours in ancient Babylon actually looked like. Not just the wonders, not just the legends. We're talking about the real city. The Euphrates flooding your neighborhood. The uniform contracts you can't read. The gods who demand constant attention from dawn to midnight. This is what life was actually like in ancient Babylon. Let's step back 2,600 years. Dawn. The sun rises over the flat Mesopotamian plain, and Babylon is already moving. You're standing near the Euphrates River, which cuts straight through the middle of the city. The river is everything here. Water source, trade route, defensive barrier, divine presence. Right now, it's early Nisanu, the first month of the Babylonian year, spring. The barley harvest is coming soon. Fishermen are already out on the water in small reed boats called kufas, round waterproofed with bitumen. They look like floating baskets, but they've worked for thousands of years. They're catching carp and catfish, fish that will be sold in the market by midday or dried and salted for later. Women are walking down to the river with clay jars. Every drop of water has to be carried. No aqueducts like Rome. No elaborate canals inside the city. Just the Euphrates, brown and muddy, flowing south toward the Persian Gulf. You can see farmers heading to fields outside the city walls. Barley and wheat, the foundation of everything. Date palms, sesame for oil, onions and garlic. Everything grows because of irrigation. Mesopotamia means between the rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates. But unlike Egypt's predictable Nile flood, these rivers are violent and unpredictable. Too much water and your fields drown. Too little and you starve. The Babylonians have built an elaborate system of canals, dikes, and levees to control the water. It requires constant maintenance. Miss the maintenance and the system collapses. But right now, the water is controlled and the city is waking up. By the time the sun is fully up, you're heading toward the Ishtar Gate. This is the main entrance to the inner city, and it's unlike anything else in the world. 60 feet high, covered entirely in glazed bricks, deep, brilliant blue. Lions, bulls, and dragons in relief, walking in procession across the surface. Yellow and white against that impossible blue. This isn't just a gate, it's a statement. Babylon is the center of the world, and this is what greets you when you enter. You're walking along the processional way, the wide street that leads from the Ishtar Gate toward the temple complex. The street is paved with limestone and red breccia. The walls on either side are decorated with more glazed brick lions. During the New Year festival, Akitu priests will carry the statue of Marduk along this exact path. The entire city will line the streets, thousands of people celebrating the renewal of the cosmos. But today is an ordinary day. You pass through the gate. Guards check you. Make sure you're not bringing weapons. The inner city is sacred space. Inside, the noise hits you immediately. This is the commercial district. Merchants from everywhere. Persians, Egyptians, Greeks, Arabs, Indians. Babylon sits at the crossroads of the known world. Trade routes from east and west converge here. You hear a dozen languages: Adean, the local language; Aramaic, which is spreading everywhere; Persian, Greek, Egyptian. Stalls sell everything: copper from Anatolia, tin from Afghanistan, lapis lazuli from Persia, incense from Arabia, timber from Lebanon. Babylon lacks stone, metal, and timber, but they are an agricultural powerhouse, exporting massive amounts of grain, dates, and textiles. They control the trade routes, and that makes them rich. By mid-morning, you're at a scrib's office near the market. You need a contract written, a loan agreement. You're borrowing barley to plant your field, and you'll pay it back after harvest, with interest. The scribe sits cross-legged with a lump of wet clay. He presses a reed stylus into it, making wedge-shaped marks. Cuneiform, literally wedge-shaped writing. It's been used in Mesopotamia for over 2,000 years. Babylon didn't invent it, but they've perfected it. The scribe writes your name, the lender's name, the amount of barley, the interest rate, the repayment date. Then he rolls a cylinder seal across the clay, a small stone cylinder carved with a unique design. When rolled across wet clay, it leaves an impression. That's your signature. Your seal is registered. If you break the contract, everyone will know. The tablet will dry in the sun, then be filed away in an archive. Thousands of these tablets exist. Business contracts, marriage agreements, property sales, legal disputes. The Babylonians document everything. You pay the scribe in silver, not coins. They haven't been invented yet. Small pieces of silver weighed on a balance. Everything in Babylon is measured: weight, volume, time. The Babylonians are obsessed with precision. They divided the day into 12 double hours, the hour into 60 minutes, the minute into 60 seconds. We still use their system today. By noon, you're walking through a part of the palace complex. And there, rising above the mud brick buildings, are terrace gardens cascading with green plants. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Except maybe they didn't exist. No Babylonian texts mention them. No archaeological evidence has been found. The only descriptions come from Greek writers centuries later. Some historians think they're a myth. Others think they existed, but were actually in Nineveh, not Babylon. But let's say they did exist. You see massive stone terraces, one above another. Trees and flowers spilling over the edges. Vines hanging down. Water flowing from the top, irrigating each level, creating a green oasis in the middle of a brown city. How did the water get up there? Maybe a screw pump turned by slaves. Maybe a chain of buckets pulled by animals. Nebuchadnezzar supposedly built them for his wife, a Median princess who missed the green mountains of her homeland. A king trying to recreate paradise for his homesick queen. Whether they existed or not, the idea captures something important about Babylon. This is a city that bends nature to human will, that brings water to the desert, that builds mountains where the land is flat. A city that declares, we can make anything. By afternoon, you're standing at the base of Etmani, the Ziggurat of Marduk, the temple tower that touches heaven. It rises in 7 tiers, each one smaller than the one below. Mud brick covered in fired brick, maybe 300 feet tall. The Greeks will later call it the Tower of Babel, the tower that humans built to reach God before God scattered them and confused their languages. But to the Babylonians, it's not hubris, it's devotion. This is where heaven and earth meet, where the gods descend to communicate with humans. At the top is a small shrine. Only the high priest enters. Once a year, during the New Year festival, he stays the night waiting for Marduk to visit. Right now, priests are conducting the afternoon ritual. They're not entering the top shrine. That's reserved. But they're making offerings at the lower levels. Sheep, bread, beer, dates, oil. Marduk is the patron god of Babylon. Once a minor deity, now king of the gods. The Babylonians tell a story. Long ago, when the world was young, the gods fought a cosmic battle. Tiamat, the chaos dragon, threatened to destroy everything. The young god Marduk defeated her, split her body in half, made the heavens from one half, the earth from the other. As a reward, the gods made him their king and built Babylon as his earthly home. Every ritual, every offering, every prayer reinforces this cosmic order. Marduk keeps chaos at bay. Babylon remains the center of the world. The gods are satisfied, skip the rituals, and everything falls apart. The priests take this very seriously. As the sun sets, you're on a rooftop near the Ziggurat. Not you personally, you're not educated enough, but let's say you're watching the priests. They're studying the sky. Babylonian priests are the best astronomers in the world. They've been tracking the movements of the sun, moon, and planets for centuries. They've divided the sky into constellations, mapped the paths of Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury. They can predict lunar eclipses. They track the cycles of the planets. Why? Because the heavens are divine messages. The Babylonians don't separate astronomy from astrology. The movements of the celestial bodies affect events on Earth. A lunar eclipse might mean the king is in danger. Venus appearing at the wrong time might signal war. Jupiter's position affects harvests. So, the priests watch obsessively, record everything on clay tablets. They build mathematical models to predict planetary positions. Some of their predictions are accurate to within a day over years. This isn't superstition. It's sophisticated mathematics applied to religious observation. The Greeks will learn from them. So will the Persians, the Indians, the Arabs. Modern astronomy begins here, on rooftops in Babylon, with priests watching the sky and scratching calculations onto clay. As darkness falls, you head home. Your house is small, mud brick walls, a flat roof where you might sleep on hot nights. A few rooms arranged around a central courtyard, no windows facing the street. Everything opens inward to the courtyard for privacy and security. Inside, your wife has been managing the household, making bread, weaving cloth, raising children. Women in Babylon have some rights. They can own property, run businesses, get divorced, but they're expected to stay home, manage the household, produce children. Your children are playing in the courtyard, boys and girls together until they're old enough for their roles to diverge. If you can afford it, your son might go to a scribal school, learn cuneiform, become a scribe or a priest. But most children learn by watching their parents. Farmers' children become farmers. Potters' children become potters. Dinner is simple. Bread made from barley, beer, thick and nutritious. Maybe some fish, some onions or garlic, dates for sweetness. If you're wealthy, you might have meat, mutton or goat. But most people eat meat only at festivals. The rich live very differently. Large houses with many rooms, servants doing all the work, imported wine instead of local beer. But everyone eats barley bread and drinks beer. It's the foundation of life. After dinner, you might tell stories about the gods. how Gilgamesh sought immortality and failed, how the gods sent a great flood, but one man, Utnapishtim, survived by building an ark. These stories have been told for thousands of years. They'll keep being told long after Babylon falls. Late at night, the city finally gets quiet. No street lighting, no night economy, just darkness and the stars. You can hear dogs barking, occasional voices, the distant sound of the Euphrates. People don't travel at night. It's dangerous. Wild animals, bandits, demons. Because the Babylonians believe in demons, malevolent spirits that cause disease, bad luck, death. You have amulets to protect you, small clay figures buried under your threshold, incantations written on tablets and hung in your house. You pray to protective gods, Shamash, the sun god of justice, Ishtar, the goddess of love and war. The major gods like Marduk are for temples and kings, but the household gods, the protective spirits, those are for people like you. You hope they're listening. You hope your contract will be honored, your crops will grow, your children will survive. Child mortality is brutal. Maybe 1 in 3 children die before age 5. Disease, malnutrition, accidents. Life is hard, but you accept it. This is how the world works. If you live a good life, follow the laws, honor the gods, maybe things will go well. The Code of Hammurabi, carved on a stone stele over 1,000 years ago, still influences Babylonian law. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Justice is harsh but clear. Everyone knows the rules. So that was 24 hours in ancient Babylon. Not just the Ishtar Gate and the Hanging Gardens, not just the myths and the wonders, the real city. Ununiform contracts and barley bread. Priests watching the stars. The Euphrates flowing through the middle of everything. Babylon was already ancient when this day happened. The city had existed for over 1,000 years, and it would continue for a few more centuries before the Persians conquered it, before Alexander the Great claimed it, before it slowly emptied and became ruins. But in 600 BC, Babylon was the center of the world, the largest city, the richest city, the city where mathematics, astronomy, law, and literature reached heights that wouldn't be matched for centuries. They gave us the 60-minute hour, the 360-degree circle, the 7-day week. They gave us the first written legal code, the first systematic astronomy, some of the oldest literature in the world. The Epic of Gilgamesh, written in cuneiform on clay tablets, is older than Homer, older than the Bible, and it's still readable today because clay tablets, unlike papyrus or parchment, last forever. Thousands of them have been excavated from the ruins of Babylon and other Mesopotamian cities. Business contracts, medical texts, astronomical observations, love poems, legal disputes, school exercises, an entire civilization preserved in hardened mud. Babylon itself is mostly gone. The Ishtar Gate was excavated and reconstructed in a Berlin museum. The Ziggurat is a pile of ruins in Iraq. But the ideas survived. The mathematics, the astronomy, the law, the stories. Every time you check the time and see 60 minutes in an hour, you're using Babylonian mathematics. Every time you read the story of Noah's flood, you're hearing an echo of the Gilgamesh epic. Babylon fell, but what Babylon built still shapes how we think. Thanks for watching Time Warp Cities. Creating these reconstructions takes enormous amounts of research and time, piecing together millennia of history into one day. If you enjoyed this journey through ancient Babylon, hit subscribe for more immersive history and drop a comment. What ancient civilization should we visit next? As always, we'll see you in the